So earlier this week I showed the new feature in Cloud Integration that allowed you to log the content or trace the content that was being processed, and this gave some whole new opportunities. And the development team of the Figaf IRT tool for testing PI have then been working pretty hard to add or start using this feature in the Cloud Integration, so we can also do testing there. So this was the one where you're setting this to trace. So in IRT we have now added a new agent type that is Cloud Integration, and here we can just select one new scenario. We will create a new CPI demo 3. We'll collect 2 messages. So we will start this. So now we need to log on here, created. So now it is starting to look for the next 2 messages that's being processed on the system. So I'll send some messages in, and we can then see in the Cloud Integration these messages is then shown here. We got the log or trace information here, so we can see all the trace capabilities here. We can see the payload that we are getting in this instance, and we can see there's some time instance here. So that's the new functionality that we have added. Then we want to check remote messages, and remote messages will then download the payload from the API of this. So we get downloaded right now. And we can then see we got these 4 messages, 2 inbound and 2 inbound, and a total of 4 messages because there's a split in this one. So we create test cases, and we will create them as baseline. And baseline is a way we have created if we want to do integration with another testing tool. Then we would expect that the testing tool will always send the same IDOCs, and we want to compare that those messages look identical. But we will add support also for running direct and start messages directly from the tool. But this was just first release. So we have created a new test case. We can see it here. And we can, let's just go into this. So here we can see the flows, we can see our activities, what are the events, and we can see the data that it is expecting in these instances. So that's all good. So we can then, we'll go to, this one. We will start recording on this. So we can see here our result. We have one that's not started yet. We'll send some messages in. Then we'll do our check. That will then download the corresponding messages for this. So now it will download the messages into the system, and we should view the result. So there's some background processing that does take place there, that takes a little while. So we can now see that we have received an error on these inbound messages. So the incoming messages, we can see what are the error here, and here's the properties that's different. We know that's okay, and this one will be added to our default ignoring list. We can also see in this one, and here we can see there's actually a timestamp that's different. So we can just click it and say this is okay. Then we got some here breadcrumb, and we got set time, which is actually a field that we're setting user defined that is changing. So that's all good. So now we're actually ready to run it again. So we just select run our tests. We will send some more messages into it. Check remote messages. So it has downloaded the messages. And we then and just have to wait for it to run its comparison. So now we can see that it has compared all the messages and it didn't find any unexpected differences in it. So we can now see, okay, there's nothing changed in this this flow when we're running our test case. So there's obviously a lot of improvements we can make in this to make it run smoother and have more capabilities. Just wanted to share a little about our first attempt to make a testing tool for this platform. I think next week we'll share a little more about how far we're getting, but definitely that it's really a cool way of doing these different things, and will enable you also to do validation at different points in time. So really proud of the team, what they've done this week and adding these functionality, and really looking forward to show you a bit more of what we can do with this. So one question I have to you is, where do you want this? Should this service run in cloud, or is it okay that it run on-premise?